the woman was dancing at the banquet, when suddenly, half of her skirt slipped down. She immediately realized this was no accident. It must have been the scheming younger sister and the vicious aunt's doing. Their goal was to humiliate her in front of everyone so she would lose the chance to marry the honorable general forever. However, she didn't panic. She made a swift decision. Instead of fixing her skirt, she simply tore it off completely. Then, right before the stunned crowd, she began to perform ballet. As expected, her graceful dance captivated everyone present. At that moment, the gallant general, moved by her resilience, stepped forward and draped his coat over her shoulders. But the reason she could destroy her ruthless aunt and cunning sister was because she had once been a powerful business queen in the 21st century, until she died in a tragic car accident. When she woke up, she found herself in ancient times, reborn as the eldest daughter of a noble family, who had been bullied to death. As memories flooded back, she finally understood. The original owner of this body had a mother who was once the legal wife, but due to the schemes of a mere concubine's maid, she was cast out of the family. Even worse, that very concubine, after rising to power, ordered mother and daughter to be thrown into a dry well, and sealed it with heavy stones, intending to bury them alive. Thinking of how the original owner died with resentment, the woman's eyes turned icy with murderous intent. Since she had been reborn here, she would make those who harmed them pay in blood. Clenching her teeth, she used all her strength to crawl out of the abandoned well, her first step returning to the family, to reclaim everything that rightfully belonged to her. Yet, just as she reached the entrance, she saw her younger sister arrogantly scolding the servants. Upon spotting her, the sister immediately ordered her to be thrown out again. She staggered and fell to the ground. The jade bracelet on her wrist shattered on impact. That bracelet was the token of love between her parents, and the only proof of her identity. At that moment, her father walked over slowly. Hearing how her sister addressed him, the woman's heart trembled. She instantly realized this man was her biological father. Without hesitation, she cut open both her and her father's fingertips, letting their blood drip into a bowl. The moment the blood fused together, the man's expression changed drastically. At last, he realized that his long-lost daughter was still alive. Without a second thought, he brought her back to the family. However, the aunt, desperate to cover up the truth of the past, pretended to be devastated, claiming she had spent years searching for the eldest daughter. But the woman saw right through her act. She was merely trying to conceal her past crimes. That night, the woman took out a family portrait of the aunt. Staring at their beaming faces, her heart twisted in agony. Their wealth and glory had been built upon the suffering of her and her mother. She made up her mind. She would let none of them go. The next day arrived in a flash. A messenger from the general's residence came to confirm the marriage contract. Yet the shameless younger sister brazenly declared that she and the general had been childhood sweethearts, and should be married at once. The woman sneered. That was clearly a marriage arranged by her grandfather. What right did her sister have to steal it? But she knew all too well, her aunt would never give up so easily. Sure enough, the vicious woman had already devised another sinister plot. She secretly ordered people to sneak outside her room, and blow in a sedative fragrance, trying to ruin her innocence, so she would be completely unworthy of the general. As the mist filled the room, her consciousness began to blur. The door creaked open